This is Kathy from Gadget Stop 321, and today I've got a traveler's notebook in the camel color. I got this from yjetlee Pens with a gift card that my daughter gave me for Mother's Day. This is the second year in a row that she's given me a yjetlee Pens gift card, so I'm starting to get a little spoiled. I've got a couple of notebooks that I cut down to fit in the traveler's notebook. I have a Pilot 78G Plus with a medium nib. It's the demonstrator model that I ordered a while back, and it came in this week. So in today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at how I've put all this together to make a new writing setup for me, and I've been enjoying using this week. Now, while I was waiting for my traveler's notebook to come in, I was watching YouTube videos of other people's camel traveler's notebook, and one of them was yjetlee. I don't know how that's pronounced, but that's how it's spelled, and I'll leave his information in the description of this video. But he has a video where he cut down some notebooks to put in his camel notebook cover. And so when I saw that, I thought, I'm going to do that because I have lots of notebooks laying around that I've been wanting to use. This package of moleskins is incredibly fountain pen friendly. I've tried every ink that I own. They don't feather, bleed through. Now, I've had a hardcover moleskin that it just bleeds and feathers, so I don't know if I got lucky with this one or what, but I cut one of those down. I've got a bunch of these little Apica A5 notebooks, grid notebooks. I cut one of those down. Now the Apica notebook the paper in it is fountain pen friendly for the most part, and I'll show you what I mean by that. But I'm going to go ahead and put the moleskin notebook in first. I like to put two notebooks in together first, and what I have to do is take out the original, and instead of buying connecting bands, I'm just using the little elastic that came on the packaging for the traveler's notebook. I untied it because the knot was up here. I untied it, and the ends were kind of starting to unravel. So I took a lighter and got the ends one at a time up just close enough to the flame to melt the ends and kind of cauterize them so that they won't unravel. And then I retied it as close to the end as I could get, nice and tight. Now the original notebook and the moleskin notebook are each single signature, so I'm just going to open up to the middle of each and put that knot. You can put it either at the bottom or the top so that it's out of the way, not in the middle of your notebook. And attach those two together, and then slide it. Let me get the bookmark out of the way. Slide it back into the cover. And I thought about just leaving it two notebooks. That's a nice size, but I found when I put my pen in here, there's a little bit of room there for your pen. I thought that would be nice, but when I put my pen in, it wants to kind of pull it open, and I'm afraid of it, the pen being pushed down in there and it kind of opening the notebook, and basically the pen not being secure. So I took the replacement elastic that they give you in the package for the traveler's notebook. They give you a contrasting color one, and I debated between switching out these two and having the two brown elastics on the inside, but I like the brown on the outside. So I did the same thing with this one. I untied it, cauterized both ends with a lighter, and retied it as close to the end as I could get it. Now this time, and I gotta mention, these Apica notebooks have 2 small signatures instead of 1 large signature. So I'm going to open it up to the beginning of the first signature and open up to the middle of this one in the back. And this time, instead of putting the knot on bottom, I don't want both of the knots down there, I'm going to put the knot on top for this one. All right, and open it up. Okay, and really at the time, the only reason I put this one in the back is because since it had the printing on the front, when you cut it down, you know, you can tell it's a cut off notebook. And let's see, now these are all the same size, but this fatter notebook gets pushed out a little bit and it sticks out just a little bit. That I don't mind, because like on my little pocket size setup here, I don't mind the notebook sticking out. Some people may prefer the notebooks tucked farther in and the leather out to protect the notebooks, but I find that this elastic doesn't cause any wear on my notebooks anyway. But if the notebooks are tucked inside, the elastic does cause wear on the leather, visible wear. It's not anything that's going to hurt it, it just, you know, makes some visible wear. You can see a little bit there, but that's from before I had this setup. So I don't mind my notebook sticking out a little bit. In fact, I prefer it. And I like that there's a little gap right here. That gives me a little spot for my pen to just kind of tuck in. And it's chunky enough now that when I put my pen in, it doesn't want to force it open. The elastic pushing in doesn't want to force the book open. Just makes a nice little setup. Now, I started writing in the Apica notebook first. It's here in the back. And originally, I wanted to show this. Originally, when I got this notebook, I planned on using it with my Sailor 1911. But I planned on tucking it in here. I just think those look really sharp together. But the 1911 is a little bit larger pen, so it sticks out a little bit more. It's a more expensive pen. I have a purse that this will fit in, so that if I was ever going to take a notebook with me, I would just drop it in my purse. I do that all the time with my little passport. I just drop it down in my purse. I wouldn't feel comfortable this just, you know, flopping around in my purse, no telling what scratching up against it. But I am okay with this pen. And this pen, the 78G Plus, is a little bit more narrow, just enough more narrow and a lot less expensive that it fits in there nicely, and I'm not as concerned about it. I would be okay putting this in my purse and taking it out for a day. Now, the Apica notebook, I started writing with the Sailor, and I have Ackerman Israel Zablo Sea Blue in it. And I've been told that it's a drier ink, and I tend to believe that, because on this paper I didn't have any trouble with feathering. It just looks really good, nice and crisp. No bleed through, and I don't think I've ever had any trouble with bleed through on this Apica paper, but I do have trouble with feathering. And when I switched over to Sukiyo, and I've noticed that on other papers too, like on my Leuchtturm, Sukiyo is a little bit more prone to feathering. I've got Sukiyo, Iroshizuku Sukiyo in the 78G, and you'll be able to see, let's see where, yeah, it tends to feather and really blow out. Not everywhere though. And I've noticed this in my personal journal. I use an Apica notebook, and I think it's because I rest my hand on the paper as I'm writing. So I think what I'm going to do is use a little paper as a blotter paper to kind of rest my hand on as I'm writing and see if that helps. But that's my setup I'm using for now. I love this. I love the narrowness of it. I've avoided getting one of these notebooks for a long time because I wasn't fond of the long narrow, but I have found that I really like using this in my chair downstairs. It just sits nicely on the arm of my chair, and I can read and make notes. It's sitting there on the coffee table beside me. I can grab it and take some notes, and I'm really enjoying this setup. So if you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.